This is the Simulation Football League, presented by EPM Music on YouTube. What happens when you put a team who has not lost at home this season against a team that has not lost at all? That question will be answered here in the Stockyards tonight as the Fort Worth Toros play host to the DC Dragons. Good evening, folks. I'm Tyler Falk. Welcome along to this SFL Week 5 contest. With Stephen Hacker and Michaela Foraker on stats and Cameron Irvine back at SFL Studios, I am joined here in the booth by my favorite Aussie, Jacob Clear. Great to have you here, Jacob. This will be DC's first away game this season, and in my opinion, the first true test for this Dragons ball club.
Good evening, Tyler. Good to be back with you. It's been a hot minute since we've been partnered together, but absolutely this matchup hard to split. Fort Worth have had a tough starting schedule, particularly by virtue of that stingy South Division, whereas DC are kind of met with their biggest challenge yet so far this season, and the biggest challenge to that undefeated record.
The DC Dragons are showcasing their new Year of the Dragon uniforms in celebration of the Chinese New Year. Toros in their traditional navies as here we go from Fort Worth, Texas. Week 5 rolls on, and it will start with a kneel down in the back of the end zone for the Dragons return man Nick Twice. And we introduce you to the quarterback of the DC Dragons, Shabazz Synergy, who has all 5 of his passing touchdowns coming in the last 2 weeks of the regular season. He has been on an absolute tear, just throwing under 65 times so far this season, and it's led to their 3 wins, but all of those wins, as we mentioned to start the program, came at home, as bringing down the ball carrier, the backfield for the Toros was Aiden Davis. Let's introduce you to that Dragon offense. Kevin Say, Sam Harrison, and Chuck Steller are the backs, with Mason Kirby, Josh Gill, Lyric Da Vinci, and Nick Twice a wide receiver. We'll get to the rest of that lineup here in a second, as Mason Kirby steps out of bounds after a nice pickup of 6 yards. Lauren Percoco, James Walters are the tight ends, with Michael Percoco, Ezekiel Rubin, James Judah, Quinn Zook, and Joseph Ephraim all on the line. Big third down early coming up for the Dragons. They'll trot out 3 wide receivers in a split backfield as Synergy rolls near side, unloads, and it's picked off. A fantastic interception by Ben Stone. He's down the sideline, inside the 5, and he outraces Synergy for a pick 6. An early strike back from this Toro defense.
It's a horrible start for Shabazz, Tyler, who had a nice pass out to the outside, found the new man in Kirby on the previous play, and this was just well read by an extremely talented safety in Ben Stone, who's kind of the second fiddle to Delaney Nash in that defensive backfield, and he just had clean daylight in front of him to take that back all the way. No blocking required. That's an early start for Fort Worth, and the absolute opposite of what DC would have wanted.
That's the first pick 6 of the season for the Fort Worth defense. Ben Stone's 5th pick 6 of his career, as the extra point is up and good from Amelia Rose, and it's early, under a minute, and if you were just trying to find your seats, you would have missed Ben Stone's pick 6. It's 7-0 Toros.
Yeah, there would have been some home fans still trying to make their way in, wondering what on earth happened. We only had 50 seconds of play time. Shabazz needs to settle things down here.
And so here comes Nick Twice on the return, and he will take it out of his end zone this time. That's a solid return up to the 28-yard line. Let's introduce you to Stone's counterparts on that Toro defense. Jeff Duffy, Jerry D. Gond, Luther Gond, and John Nevels are the linemen, with J.L. Browning, Sonny Sky, and E.K. Vincent behind them at linebacker. Remington James, Aiden Davis, Adam Leach, and Tobias Gordon are the corners. And at safety, it's Delaney Nash and the aforementioned pick-sixing Ben Stone. Second drive of the ball game now here for DC. Starts with a delayed handoff up the gut. Goes Kevin Say, and he's only able to pick up 2 yards as the hole was closed quickly by middle linebacker Vincent.
Yeah, it's the second carry for Say that's netted close to nothing. The first was shut down by Aiden Davis. The second one, EK Vincent all over that one.
Another 3 wide receiver look here for the Dragons. Offset eye here behind Synergy. Quick drop, quick hitter over the right-hand side, and Kirby can't hold that one in, and it seems like Synergy has tried to get Kirby involved, the new man coming over from Las Vegas in the offseason, and it helps sometimes, and it doesn't work out the other.
It's going to be a really good matchup tonight. Tyler Kirby and Adam Leach on that outside. Shabazz really likes Mason Kirby and will be looking for him a heap.
Kirby is hauled in about 18% of receptions thrown his way in terms of all the other receivers in DC, as that one is thrown over the middle, finds Kirby, and finds a DC first down.
There you go, Tyler. 4 targets already for Kirby. 2 of them reeled in, and this is a crucial third down completion. They moved him out in motion to try and change the matchup, and it works. He gets free off the safety there. Just ran across the numbers and picks up a really important first down. That gets the ball moving.
He has been the sole target this evening so far, early going, only 2 minutes in. Still plenty of time to get Percoco, Gill, Da Vinci, and Twice all involved. Right now, Kirby has had a spotlight shown on him as Synergy gets out of the tackle and nearly finds Lyric Da Vinci over the middle. Just overthrew him. The hit probably had something to do with it.
Yeah, Lyric Da Vinci is very, very aware of situations like that. Former tight end, played for Louisiana last season. Another new face in this receiving corps.
Synergy again, but back to pass, and over the middle finds Kirby, Mr. Reliable. And the go-to man gets another Dragon first down.
There's the 5th target and the 3rd catch. Tyler, really good start for Mason Kirby if you wipe the pick off. And Synergy just starting to find some momentum here, finding the open man, making more comfortable passes.
They're already really trying to attack the middle of that field, right where EK Vincent is typically standing, but he's been sent more up close and personal to the line the last couple of plays. This will be a dump off for Da Vinci. That picks up a solid gain of 9 yards.
And now they're just trying to assess what Fort Worth are going to give them defensively. The pick was a real gamble that Shabazz would obviously want back. Now he's just taking things easy every play. That was a short pass that found an open man once again.
First reception for someone not named Kirby. Pitch play, right side, Say is taken down behind the line. Excellent pursuit on the edge as Say is set down for a loss.
It's the 3rd carry for Say, and 2 of them now have netted for either 0 or less than a yard. And his Fort Worth defense is really good against the run. You're seeing that early.
Heavy set here on 3rd and short. DC so far 2-2 on the drive, and they try and go up the middle with Steller. Nothing doing. J.L. Browning sneaks inside and brings down Steller for a loss of 1, and that will bring up 4th down.
Not the result they wanted, but this is still, well, it was almost porty range. They're going to punt this, Tyler. I wonder if this was within his wheelhouse.
Very high and short punt. Looking for a bounce. It will bounce inside the 20 as Fort Worth will back away from it, and it will be downed inside the 15-yard line. And so Marcus Dunhill will take to the field here, Jacob, and he starts off with a 7-point advantage. And the story of his season has been the turnover bug. 10 interceptions for the first 4 games. However, in the massive win versus Houston last weekend, he was clean. No interceptions and a trio of touchdowns. And he will start under center. Two wideouts, a tight end on the line to the right, and an offset eye behind him. It will be a handoff to begin matters here for the Fort Worth offense as Jay-Z Bacon takes the carry up for 3 yards, and let's meet Bacon's friends on that Toro offense. Charlie Baker partners up alongside Bacon at the halfback role. Aaron Alexander is the fullback. E.J. Minson, Stephen Hacker, Cade Stevens, and Lili Nakai are the wideouts, with Robert Garrett Jr. and James Jennings at tight end. And on the line, leading the men and women in the trenches, is Emilio Panda, Frank Burks, and Gordo Enorme. As the hitter over the middle is caught, E.J. Minson picks up a first down for Fort Worth.
And Tyler, you highlighted in the pregame when we were talking off air that EJ has really taken over the targets from Cade Stevens since signing from Florida. No mean feat, but he's having a really impressive season as the new slot man in his Fort Worth offense.
He's got 24 receptions coming into the night, which is 29% of all completions thrown by Dunhill this season. Next closest is, I should say, the highest one is Stephen Hacker with 35% or 29 receptions. As the run left side for Bacon, it'll go maybe a yard or two. It'll be 2nd and 8 coming up. Then let's introduce you to that Dragon defense, shall we? On the line, Nick Fargo, Jose Fuentes, John Gary, Mike Wagner, Kano Fortson, and Jay Sanborn. And at linebacker, Jason Strongbow, Saeed Gore, Declan O'Rourke, and Ben Bowman. Corners are Peanut Say, Daryl Bullock, and Jadoobie Doo. Safeties are Josh Vasquez, Kev Say Jr., John DeSantis, and Tyler Highfield. Minimal gain or no gain that time around for Charlie Baker as he is brought down by DeSantis.
Yeah, and you're seeing early, Tyler, this Fort Worth rushing attack has not been what we came to expect last season. Bacon averaging only 3.2 yards per carry. It's a shadow of what he was like last season.
Back to pass. Dunhill looking for a shoestring catch out of Stevens. Can't get it. And the Toros will have to settle for a punt.
Well, it's a good result for DC. Defensively, had a less than desirable end to an otherwise impressive second drive on offense. And you get a quick stop here. The rushing attack was nullified pretty much on that drive. So, a good result for DC.
You would think it'd be their second drive because they already have a touchdown, but because of the Ben Stone pick six, that was unfortunately their first drive. Unable to capitalize at the moment, and the return back from Mason Kirby gets all the way back to the 39-yard line. If you're new to the Simulation Football League, welcome. The SFL is football for everyone. Get off the sideline and start your player today by joining our Discord server at simulationfl.net. Click the Join the Community button and begin your career, or just to meet the stars of the SFL on and off the field. It's never too late to get involved. Synergy will start under center at his own 39. Handoff on first down. Goes up the middle. Gains about 4 yards for Chuck Stellar.
That was a bit of a better push from the offensive line there. Saw Michael Picocco just got a bit more traction on that inside. Created a good gap for Stellar to run into. 4 yards, best run of the night so far.
They like to run so much on first down, they put 3 tight ends out there to try and get Kevin Say going. He can only gain maybe a yard as he's met quickly by E.K. Vincent.
And Vincent's having another really good campaign. Super underrated player, given how many stars are on this Fort Worth defense.
They tried to keep everybody from last season, from season 21 here on the defense, and they were quite successful in doing so. As Synergy unloads middle, Percoco, the doctor, is inside Fort Worth territory, inside their 30-yard line.
There she is. She leads this team in targets by a country mile for a reason. Super talented interior tight end, just jumps up and grabs that. There was no coverage in the area. Bit of a defensive lapse in judgment perhaps there from the inside of Fort Worth's defense. You can't give her that much room to make a play on the ball.
She is so quick at 6'7", able to speed past the secondary and get DC to the 31-yard line. As Synergy will look to throw again, looking on the near side. Da Vinci can haul it in, and it's another pick and a fumble as the Toros jump on it. And so the Toros force 2 picks in 7 minutes.
And Aiden Davis was in the MVP conversations last season for a very good reason. He just took that off the helmet of Lyric Da Vinci. Almost gave Lewis a heart attack on the sideline, losing that ball. Luckily, it went out of bounds. And Fort Worth gets their second turnover of the night.
The question raised by Cameron Irvine on the official league website was, can Davis come up with plays to match this talented wide receiving core of DC? He gets a pick, his first of the season. And the Toros are back on offense. Quick hitter underneath. There is the Cowboy, Robert Garrett Jr. for a pickup of 7.
Now Dunhill's going to try and get into his motion here, as Shabazz was periodically. You got a golden opportunity here with the field position.
So brings up 2nd and 3 from just inside the 38-yard line. Another handoff Bacon, and this time he is corralled for a loss. Leading the charge, the former Nightwing, Josh Vasquez.
Yeah, that's Vasquez again. Second time he's pinned Bacon behind the line of scrimmage. Need more of that. If they continue to isolate this rushing attack, they're going to have a really good night on defense.
Third down. Here for the Toros. Lili Nakai in motion to the far side. Dunhill looking middle. Caught. First down to the 45-yard line. It's E.J. Minson.
There's Minson again. And Tyler, it's incredibly impressive how well integrated he already is. Clearly, Dunhill trusts him to the point where he throws to him a lot. More so than Cade Stevens, who we've only seen one target to so far, but so far it's the Minson show. No sign of Hacker either.
2 targets, 2 receptions. Pretty active here in the early goings. Only the Toros' second offensive drive as Bacon is thrown up in the air and stapled to the turf. Saeed Gore with the lumber.
They continue to clock on to Jay-Z Bacon. They are all over him at the moment.
2nd and 9 after the short pickup. 2 corners on 1 wide receiver near side. They send one of them. Delayed handoff. Up the middle. Baker goes nowhere, and the extra help from Jadoobie-Doo helps to stop Baker in his tracks.
It's been a really impressive start on defense here from DC. Tyler doing everything they can to hold back this Fort Worth rushing attack. They can't afford Bacon any space, but so far, really locked onto him.
Dunhill, floater is caught by Stevens and out of a tackle, out of a second one. Ball is loose and it's picked up by a member of the Toros again. That's 2 fumbles, one from either side of the field, but they keep the ball and they move the chains.
Yeah, that's just poor ball security. Tyler's only couldn't bring the second hand onto the ball and almost paid the price for it. Irrespective, it's a really good first down completion.
This Toros offense known more for its passing game, averaging close to 300 yards a game, as that pass over the middle looking for Minson is tipped and incomplete. While that running game, like you mentioned, partner, has been a little slow to get going, averaging under 100, which puts them near the bottom of the table when it comes to average rush yards.
We've still seen moments this season from Jay-Z Bacon where he really explodes. Always a threat.
Will he sizzle tonight? Handoff is to Bacon, and he tries to hurdle over his own lineman. and it costs him dearly as O'Rourke and company are there to say hello. And that will bring us to the end of the quarter. It's 7-0 Toros, though there have been no offensive scores just yet. Welcome back to the Stockyards. Tyler Falk and Jacob Clear on the call with Michaela Foraker and Stephen Hacker in the stats truck and the SFL Commissioner Cameron Irvine. Back at SFL Studios, we welcome you back here to Texas. Toros on the march, here to begin the second quarter. Marcus Dunhill, the quarterback, will be under center with 4 wide receivers as we take a look at the team stats. Not a whole lot of offensive production here tonight, but it's kept this game tight. Dunhill will look. A nearly diving interception is instead hauled in by Cade Stevens for a first down.
How about the accuracy of Marcus Dunhill there to fit that into that window, and it was just almost tipped away into one of the remaining DC defenders at the back of the play, but Stevens able to dive for it himself and gets a first down grab, and that sets the quarter off on a good note for Fort Worth.
That was the free safety, John DeSantis, with the near Superman-like interception. Instead, it remains Toro football. Go right side, Bacon, and he's just been, well, hasn't been crispy, hasn't been sizzling so far, as this defense has a great read on the run game at the moment.
O'Rourke again, really quick up into the box there, but thought Bacon had a gap on that right-hand side, just didn't take it.
6 carries for 6 yards, and he's only going to gain maybe another 1 yard here.
It's another good play by DeSantis, I believe, up the middle there, and just to try and get him to the outside. They're forcing it up the middle a lot, and at the moment, the likes of O'Rourke and the company on the interior line are reading it really well.
Dunhill, middle, it's caught by Minson. He gets out of a tackle and pushes his way forward inside the 10. First and goal, Toros.
And EJ bails him out again, ever reliable on that inside. Bit of a new role for him this season, operating in that area of the field, but he's 6'4", 215. He's a huge target to throw to, and thus far has really been the hallmark of this game.
For this DC defense, whenever they try and send DeSantis or Vasquez closer to the line of scrimmage, it seems like they've had more success. Every time they backed off, the Toros have taken advantage. And now they'll try and run with Bacon through the middle, and he's churning his legs forward and eventually down near the 3-yard line as Saeed Thor held on for dear life.
That's a better run from Bacon. Got a really good block up the middle there from Alexander. That just presented enough of a room for him to dash into. That makes it a little bit more comfortable.
Another handoff, and there goes Baker. Still needs some cooking in the oven, it would seem, as he gets sent back by Declan O'Rourke.
O'Rourke's having a really good game, Tyler. He's commanding this defense from the middle. This has been a pretty much perfect performance from him so far.
High formation. Dunhill, end zone, caught! There's the touchdown, and it's the Cowboy, Robert Garrett Jr. Toros up by 2 scores.
Well, Mike Daggs say throw it to the tight end. They do exactly that. They get into a formation that would favor a pass like that, and he just gets a really good route out, and it's just a nice feed from Dunhill. Good coverage in the end, but just didn't get in between the ball there. DeSantis and Garrett Jr. will extend this out to 2 scores, but Tyler, a really good drive from Fort Worth. They took it all the way downfield. A good first down carry from Jay-Z Bacon set them up inside the 5, and they executed.
Good job. I'd call it a great 15-play, 82-yard drive, all culminating with this Amelia Rose extra point. You see it there. Oh, my goodness. 5 minutes, 22 seconds gone. The Toros sucking the life out of DC early.
I think the quarterback threw me off. I didn't realize how long that drive was. Ridiculous usage of the time of possession there. They've really taken some clock out of the hands of DC here.
Here comes the return here for the Dragons, and it's a solid return up to near the 30-yard line. That is where the Dragons will take over. Some hellos to get to here in YouTube chat. Damon Simeon, I've seen Ron Haynes, I've seen Northrop's, both Colin and Rick. They had a great call earlier this week. In fact, just a couple hours ago, they were able to call a great near comeback for the Artillery as Seattle were able to hold on for dear life at the end of that game. And so many more of you here in YouTube chat. Appreciate you stopping by this Saturday evening and spending a little bit of your time with us. DC here, down by 14, 7:33 to go here in the second quarter. Still plenty of time here for the Dragons to make a comeback. Play action, delayed handoff. Nothing doing. Kevin Say turned inside out.
Say 8-1 there. Vincent again, the two middle linebackers on either side have really stamped their authority in this game. Have a really good hit from Vincent.
Second down now here for DC, 3 wide. Here for Synergy. He will hand off again, left side, and it's going to be Sam Harrison, who goes nowhere this time, as the Toros were just looking for a run on the outside, and they guessed right.
And Jerry did go and motioned out just to cover the space there and did a really good job of closing it.
Now that'll bring up 3rd and long. Synergy under center for this play, and it's a play action rollout. Synergy with time unloads, and Da Vinci unable to haul that in time. Hit as the ball got to him, and the Dragons will have to punt again.
It was actually good play design there, Tyler. Don't let the incompletion fool you. The play action did shift the defense the way that Shabazz wanted, but unfortunately threw it to a player that had about 3 Fort Worth defenders all over him. And it's a quite unfortunate result there for DC. Quick 3 and out.
Quick return here for Toros. Maybe gets back a yard. So they will start their next drive on their own 37-yard line. Liking the game so far? Smash that like button. And subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. The SFL produces over 400 events a year. There is no one else that gives you more football. Don't miss a minute of SFL or SFLM action and help the channel grow through your support. Quick drop, Dunhill. There he goes! Took too long to set and throw, and Mike Wagner makes him pay.
Well, they needed that, Tyler. This DC defense has struggled to disrupt the pass from Fort Worth so far tonight, and it just took that. It's only a 2-yard loss, but it's just something that gives them a little bit of momentum. This defense is holding on for dear life, and they need more plays like that.
His first full sack as a member of the Dragons. Now is 1.5 alongside Kano Fortson, and that's a beautiful pass from Dunhill. What a way to come back after getting hit hard as he finds Minson for a first down.
And EJ is firmly cooking here tonight. Stephen Hacker hasn't even been targeted yet. It is all Minson down the middle. It's the same approach every time they need a first down. They look for Minson in between the numbers, and so far, he's barely put a foot wrong.
And Dunhill, speaking of putting a foot wrong, had to roll out of the collapsed pocket, and just an unbalanced throw. Not too many people are able to make that kind of throw. Handoff up the middle, Bacon, one of his best runs of the night, and it's only for 4 yards.
Could have been more, though. He didn't quite have the explosiveness that you would expect from JZ Bacon. Vasquez, again, read that quite nicely, but some good room presented from that forward blocking from Fort Worth. That's much better.
8 men in the box here for the Dragons as they'll pitch out to do the Toros, and Charlie Baker with his best run of the night gains a few more yards, and it'll be 3rd and short on the way.
He got nailed, but decent yardage again makes 3rd down a little more comfortable. Here, only 3 needed.
Look at that stat. 6 of 8 completions tonight for Dunhill have been beyond just the line to gain as Bacon
great
can't get away from DeSantis. You said it, partner. Great stop from DeSantis.
It's very rare that you see Jay-Z Bacon taken down one-on-one like that when he's got a full head of steam. I mean, DeSantis just put his body firmly on the line. Stop here. We'll see if they call a play here on 4th and very short. Not a bad idea.
DC loading up in the box, and it's a Dunhill sneak, and he gets it! Oh my goodness. We weren't expecting that, and it worked to perfection.
It was very close, I tell you. It looked like he may have just been planted behind, but they're going to give it to him. Really good play call there.
No red hankies. DC content with the game rolling on as is. Under 4 to go here in the half as Bacon gets the toss, and he is dragged down by his shoulder pads by DeSantis.
Well, the key part here for Fort Worth, Tyler, is Bacon is starting to turn those 1 and 2 yard runs into 4 and 5 yard runs. And if that continues, it's going to become increasingly difficult for DC to get back into this contest.
If they continue to take so much time off the clock, this will add even more peril to a DC prospect of a victory here tonight. Baker goes right side as Josh Vasquez is there. That brings up another one of these 3rd and shorts that the Toros have more often than not have relished.
Yeah, well, let's pinpoint where Minson is here. If he's out there, it looks like he might be going to one of the outside men.
They've completed 5 of 8 third downs, and they will connect again. It's Robert Garrett Jr. right in the nick of time. He was one-on-one with the closest defender, and he fights him off for the reception, and it's 1st and goal.
And that's exactly where it was going to go, Tyler. Dunhill has had no interest in throwing it to the outside tonight. He just wanted it all down the middle, and that went straight down the middle to Robert Garrett Jr., who's now got his 3rd catch of the game. Dunhill is just taking what this DC defense is giving him when it comes to the pass defense.
1st and goal, handoff, Baker goes for a couple yards. Declan O'Rourke there to stop him as the Dragons need a stop here in a hurry, closing in on the 2-minute warning.
I feel like there's 2 of Declan O'Rourke on the field. He's been all over the field. Him and Vasquez have been pivotal in keeping them in this contest.
4.5 tackles for O'Rourke. 6 total tackles for Vasquez. Handoff, Bacon out of a tackle, and he's looking for the pylon. He's going to get it. Touchdown, Jay-Z Bacon. Toros continue to push their advantage. It's 20-0.
And Tyler, this is a classic example of adapting to what the defense is giving you. The inside runs were not working early, and they've just slowly adapted to running the ball to the outside. That time he got clean traction. Great block by Alexander to set the edge, and he took it. Got on the outside, gets the score, and just like that, they've just took another drive that spanned a few minutes and drained us right towards the 2-minute warning of the 2nd quarter. And Fort Worth have extended this out to 3 scores.
3rd rushing touchdown of the season for Jay-Z Bacon. It's now 21-0. Another drive lasting longer than 4 minutes. Last 2 drives combined about a total of a quarter length. And DC is not loving this southern hospitality from the Toros.
And it was all the rushing attack on that drive, Tyler. Only one real pass that found Garrett Jr. that set up the drive. Baker and Bacon both really starting to clock into this game.
We'll see if a return here can spark some life into the DC Dragons, and it just fizzles out rather quickly. Sam Harrison gets the ball to the 28 and is spun down there. Now the Dragons have 2 minutes and a second here, partner. They have the time. They can try and put a game together, but right now it's not looking pretty. They need some momentum to go their way, and fast. Late handoff up the middle. Say gains 4, and we saw it quickly for a moment, but every drive just hasn't gone their way. Only 1 first down gained on only 1 of 4 drives. Maybe this drive will be different. 2-minute warning, 21-0. Toros out in front. Can the Dragons put a dent into this game? We'll find out here. 2 minutes to go in the half. Tyler Falk and Jacob Clare on the calls. We welcome you back here to the Stockyards here in Fort Worth, Texas. The DC Dragons down in a big hole with 2 minutes to go in half number 1. And they come out with an I formation, a goal line I to boot, and it's going to go backwards. Maybe a bit too passive here in a 2-minute drill drive.
Yeah, I wouldn't be abandoning the run completely in this game, but you've got to try and get the ball downfield here. Fort Worth are going to get the opening possession of the next half, and the way they've been going, they're going to drain at least 3 or 4 minutes off the clock with a successful drive. This is really a much better look here into the gun.
First time we've seen Synergy go into the gun. Backs on either side of him here on 3rd and 7. Blitz on the outside coming as Synergy unloads, and it bobbles alongside the shoulder pads and helmets of everybody. And again, it's another 3 and out for DC, and it just seems the further and further away they've gone now from the Dungeon of Dracares Coliseum. Only the first time this season. It just hasn't been working here for the Dragons tonight. Will their fortunes change in the second half, or maybe just to close out this half as the punt is away from Ron Van Cleef? On the return, here comes Toros return man, Lily Mackay, I should say. She gets it up to the 33. That is where the Toros will take over.
Yeah, DC needs to be really careful here defensively. They can't afford to let this get out any further than it already is. I wonder if Fort Worth are going to try and be passive and take it into the half, or if they're going to try and put another score on before the end.
DC trying to overload the far side, expecting something out there as Bacon tries to get out there, and he is eventually stopped just past the 35-yard line. They'll give him a gain of 3, and it seems like the Toros partner are just content to run out the remainder of this half.
Yeah, no urgency, which is fine. You've done what you needed to do this half, and you don't need to take any unnecessary gambles. You know you're going to get the opening possession of the half, and hard to complain with that.
Baker on the outside, and he breaks free inside the 40. Try to make a nice spin move to the inside, but is taken down, and that quickly changes things here mentally and fundamentally here for the Toros. A great run, the best run of the night we've seen from any back tonight.
Well, remember when I said you can't get complacent here, you can't make a mistake on defense, and they just allow Baker way too much space. He's got a lot of top-end speed as a former wideout. Just cannot afford to give that up.
26 yards from Baker, and that pass, oh, it was nearly intercepted by Vasquez. He had the pick twice and dropped it.
For a man who's done pretty much everything right in this half, Josh Vasquez, that one he got wrong. Perhaps a miscommunication there between 2 of the DC defenders, and they should absolutely have come away with that one.
Three wide now on 2nd and 10. After running for the first couple plays, they've gone to the air, and that is caught. E.J. Minson first down, and the second timeout called by the Toros.
Yeah, now you're knocking on field goal range, so the worst case scenario here is they kick another three-pointer, and it's almost certainly going to be knocked out to 4 scores here, Tyler, which is just catastrophic for DC.
The Toros offense has done an excellent job tonight. You just look at the total yards, partner, and DC has struggled here in enemy territory. We'll see if the Toros can finish off this drive with some points. Dunhill will look to throw again into triple coverage and somehow finds Cade Stevens near the line to gain. They will mark him just shy, and the Toros will call their last timeout.
Wow, that was a really impressive grab in some traffic. Dunhill's going to have another crack at it here. They're going to be really hard to stop here, Tyler. 11
of 14, 138 yards. It's been a solid evening here for Marcus. Floater, and that one's taken away. Oh, he maybe got a little bit too cute with it. Daryl Bullock picks off Dunhill for the first time in 2 weeks.
Well, that may be a game-changing play, Tyler. If there are any chance of coming back in that game, they needed to prevent a false score being put up on that drive, and they have. Daryl Bullock comes up with a big play. But the other thing is to think about is what momentum does that give DC entering the half? You've got a turnover on Dunhill. Perhaps that shakes him a little bit. I wonder what impact that will have on the second half.
Now to the Dragons. Fire away here with 25 seconds to go. They will start with a run here by Say. He will gain 4, and I think that's going to give us a little indication of the Dragons' frame of mind going into halftime. They're content with just resetting here in the locker room and starting over.
Which is fine. You don't need to take a gamble here with the clock expiring. Just go back into halftime with that pick in the back pocket. You've got the momentum now on defense.
Final play of the half will be a run up the middle. Gains a few more yards, and that will do it here at half. And the Dragons still looking at a 0 on their own side of the scoreboard, while the Toros enjoying life at home and looking to make it 3 in a row as far as wins go here at the Stockyards, and looking to be within a half game of the Houston Headhunters, who are on a bye week this week. Partner, it's been all Fort Worth from the get-go.
Well, Tyler, for a game that was tipped as the game of the week, potentially, I don't think anyone have expected this to be as lopsided as it has been. Both defenses have been really good in this game. It's just that early pick 6 from Shabazz Synergy really set the tempo, and DC have struggled to respond after that. Their offense needs some kind of momentum in the opening few minutes of this quarter upcoming. Otherwise, this could get away from them very quickly.
A couple of players of note, especially on the defense. Of course, Ben Stone led the way with the opening score. It was a pick 6. Robert Garrett Jr., your player of the game, doing a fantastic job as well with 3 catches and a score, as that'll take us out of halftime. 21-0 here from the Stockyards. The Toros with the lead. I'm Tyler Falk alongside Jacob Clear here in the booth in relief for Brett Solberg, my usual counterpart, as he had his father suffered a miniature stroke. Father is doing okay. We wish our good colleague Brett and his family all the best, and hopefully his dad can recover speedily as we are underway to begin quarter number 3. Here comes Lely on the return, looking for something at the left-hand side, get taken down at the 24-yard line, and for the first time tonight, we go back to SFL headquarters in Cameron, Irvine for a game break.
Thank you, Tyler. Minnesota in Tulsa tonight. Colin Hart with the short little 1-yard dive. How good has Minnesota's defense been tonight? Gabriel Manning, 1 catch. Just 3 catches for Tulsa. Jason France and Alexander West hurt in this game. Back to you in Fort Worth.
Thank you, Cam. You gotta limit the big playmakers, and just like that, Jay-Z Bacon around another man and deep into DC territory by the way of about 4 yards. Nonetheless, the Toros continue their reign right out of the gate.
It was only a matter of time before this happened. He was turning the 1- and 2-yard carries and the 4- and 5-yard carries at the back end of that half. That's where the sustained drives were starting to occur. Then Baker broke one off at the end of the half. Now Bacon has broken one off. This is really good signs for Fort Worth.
26 yards equals Charlie Baker's run from the end of the first half. Just wouldn't call it bookends, but a good finish equals a good start to the half here for the Toros. Another run. It's Baker, and he's quickly gobbled up at the line of scrimmage. They'll give him a yard as Gore takes him down.
Yeah, it's weird how the inverse has been working for Fort Worth. The outside run has been really successful, but it's been the inside pass, and the other way around has either not been used or hasn't worked.
Handoff up the middle. Bacon spinning out of one and then blasted by Vasquez after picking up a good chunk of yards.
Tough run there. Got a bit of room up the middle. Just, again, that explosiveness is starting to really show here for Bacon. That's what they've been waiting for.
62 yards now on 15 carries for the Toros back. Will they give him the ball once more to continue their drive? And they go to Baker, and Baker taken down behind the line. Jason Strongbow, first time we've called his name tonight, came off the edge in a hurry.
A huge signing in the offseason, Jason Strongbow from Sioux Falls, and that's a stop that they needed because Fort Worth is still a ways away from field goal territory, so he sees offense are going to get the ball back. We'll see what adjustments they made at halftime. Can Shabazz Synergy start clawing back at this win? Or lead, I should say.
Second punt of the game for Tom Arunin. Short little return gets it up to the 24-yard line, and that is where the DC Dragons offense will take over for their first drive of the half. And gotta wonder what changes were made in the locker room as Synergy barks out the play in the huddle. He comes to the line with two tight ends and two wideouts in a single back look. It's a late handoff up the middle, and they like to go to these delayed handoffs. It seems every single first down partner, and it's worked, especially at home it's worked, but here on the road, the Toros have that 12th man advantage.
And they have got such a talented run defense as well. Their corners have been heavily involved in stopping Say tonight, which has really impressed me.
Another run, and this one's going to go nowhere. A great tackle from Luther Gond at the line of scrimmage brings up third down.
Yeah, the two Gonds have been really good on the interior line. Have just really eaten up this run game. See there, the average not looking great for DC.
And that is just a testament to the fourth-ranked rush defense in the league as the pass is incomplete. Looking for Kirby. The hit from Remington James denies the passing attempt. DC will punt.
And Tyler, that was forced by the pressure that Fort Worth's defensive line got because he threw that before he wanted to. He hadn't even completed the rollout before he had to pop that pass out. Did a good job in the end, Synergy, of firing that one away, but not enough to get a completion.
Third DC punt, and I should say third DC 3 and out, and another drive that barely eclipses 3 yards for only the third time tonight, and Nakai gets it up to the 45-yard line. That is where the Toros will start their next drive. Have you ever wanted to be a play-by-play or analyst broadcaster? We are looking for passionate SFL participants or viewers like you to join the team for the next minor league season kicking off in just a few months. Please visit simulationfl.net/broadcasting for more details on how you can get involved and get your voice on the call. That's a little bit better blocking from the line as they pulled over and got a few blocks downfield. 6 yards for Bacon.
And that's the adjustment that was made probably a quarter and a half ago by Luis Gonzalez, just trying to push his lead blockers to the outside to get Bacon a bit more room on the edge. See if that continues.
Short drop, Dunhill looking middle, and he tried to fit that one in there and couldn't this time.
Yeah, strange formation to throw at. I've had a little bit of room there on that edge there, Garrett Jr., but just couldn't quite find the right pass from Dunhill.
Here comes a third down from midfield. Here for the Toros. Dunhill overseeing the defense, doesn't like what he sees. Snaps it. Blitz coming. Pass wide open. Middle. First and more for E.J. Minson near the 33.
Yeah, it's unfortunate Tyler, this DC defense has done a really good job all in all tonight, but they've been pigs to the slaughter down the middle from this passing attack from Dunhill. Every time he looks between the numbers, he's found either Garrett Jr. or more so EJ Minson, who has had a really, really good night. And just strangely, not a single target for Stephen Hacker. They haven't even looked to the outside of the numbers. That's been all down the middle. They need to plug that up.
Here comes Bacon through the middle. They'll give him 5 yards. You mentioned Hacker, and he's just one touchdown away from the century mark, looking to become the 4th player to do so. And unfortunately for a counterpart here in the SFL, Boo Chisholm, who is also at 99, who was unable to get 100. Might it be the same fate here for Hacker? As the pass, middle, tipped and incomplete, nearly picked off. Strongbow in the area.
Yeah, that's a near miss for Fort Worth. There was a defender back there for DC. Not sure if it was DeSantis or one of the other safeties who went for the man instead of the ball when it was tipped up in the air. If it was inverse, that would have been a pick.
JZ Bacon, who has now eclipsed 4,000 rushing yards. Might he get a call on 3rd and medium as Dunhill back to pass, looking underneath, caught. First down. There's Stephen Hacker to move the chains.
Dunhill finally giving him a bit of love. It's been a rough night for the Hack, but that time, again, though, it's between the hash marks. They have not really targeted anywhere else with their passing attack, and it's been successful. There haven't been any adjustments from DC defensively. It's the only thing that's been beating them.
They've tried to go away from Peanut Say and Darrell Bullock, stay away from them. How good those two corners have been throughout their careers as Bacon bounces off a tackle and somehow finds a way to power through for 5 yards. Great ingenuity and resilience from Bacon.
It totally turned what would have been a 2-yard loss into a 5-yard pickup, and that's just great tenacity, never giving up on the play. That's something that we've come to expect from him, and crucially, Tyler, he's added a whole yard onto his rushing average tonight on his season total.
He's only averaging just over 3 yards a carry tonight. Close to 4.5 here this evening as Charlie Baker gets the give. Another short yard pickup, and it brings up a 3rd and manageable here for the Toros.
And you know what's coming here. It's going to be that handoff to Baker again, although they have passed out of the Joker's look before.
See, trying to overload the heavy tight end look as Bacon tries to go and fight through, and he does to the 10-yard line. And that's just the toughness of the Toros on full display.
Yeah, not much Declan O'Rourke could do about that one. He just kept pushing and pushing. Great edge set again by Aaron Alexander.
A fullback in an offset look here on 1st down as they try and go up the middle. Charlie Baker is upended after a gain of maybe 1 by O'Rourke. And DC was able to clamp down here in the red zone just not too long ago. They came away with an interception. Can they force another mistake out of Dunhill and the Toros here? Second and 9. Here for Dunhill and the Toros. Handoff, Bacon looking near side, and he's taken down at the 3-yard line. Another 3rd down upcoming here for the Toros, and it's a stat they have loved tonight. They've had 13 3rd downs. They've converted on 9 of them.
I'll see a rushing look here on 3rd and 3, but look out for Hacker down the bottom here.
High formation. They try and run. Baker diving. Touchdown. The Toros pour it on. And now both backs have 2 touchdowns on the season. It's 27-zip.
And Baker's had a really good night, Tyler. Totally deserved a score. His run earlier in the half was what really broke open the game. After a slow start for the forward rushing attack, he got it going, and that presented some opportunities for JZ Bacon to start opening up some room. Charlie Baker gets on the board, and that's the fourth score that Fort Worth needed to really pull away with this one.
3 touchdown drives lasting longer than 4 minutes.
Wow.
You talk about just taking the life out of your opponent. The Toros are running a clinic on that this evening.
And on defense, they're looking at a potential shutout here with a little over a quarter left in this football game. DC have shown no signs of life on offense. This is really bearing poorly for the DC Dragons.
If things continue here for DC, that 0 that they find, there will only be 1-0 left on that DC score bug. And it will be the score column, not the loss column. They need to change things around. Down by 4 scores. At this point, you throw everything and the kitchen sink out on field. Just try to make a play. They've run a delayed handoff from this formation. If I count maybe 5 times, make it maybe 6 times here. Say goes backward a yard. Great tackle there from the Toros defensive lineman. And nothing doing for DC on that play call.
Yeah, and Tyler, this has been a classic case of which team responds to the opening stages of the game better. Fort Worth had a struggle in the first quarter, mind you, but they just corrected whatever was wrong, and DC continued to go back to things that weren't working earlier in the game.
6 yards for Chuck Steller, his best run of the evening from his fullback spot, brings up 3rd and 5, and this 3rd down may be a bit more optimistic. They've had a lot of 3rd and longs as of late, not a whole lot of 3rd and mediums.
I'll look for Pakoko here.
Synergy, deep drop, looking underneath. It is caught by Lyric Da Vinci, and he will move the chains to about the 31-yard line.
Yeah, they were both there. It's been one of those two, or Mason Kirby, who's been able to bail them out a few times, but their run game has really been stifled tonight by this impressive Fort Worth defense, which was probably considered the best in the league last season in a lot of respects, and they've really shown it tonight. They've started to really fall into place, and DC trying to get something going.
You talked about Pakoko. She helped set up the play. She was in within 5 yards, or so it would seem. That way she is able to maybe help a little block. Another delayed handoff up the middle. Maybe a yard or 2 gained, as it's been quite predictable here for Jeff Duffy and company.
And unfortunately, Tyler, if you can imagine that we're sitting up here and we're seeing it happen before it's even pulled out, you can imagine how quickly this Fort Worth defense is clocking onto it.
Same formation here for DC, 2nd and 8 from the 34. They will go with more of a direct run right side for Kevin Say, and that gains them a few extra yards. Gains them 2.
There's a better look, giving him a little bit of room and an opportunity to try and break on the outside. Still, though, it's a bit late in the game as we try to lean into the run. They need to start finding their receivers again.
They're playing like they're the team up by 28 at the moment. Synergy, 3rd down, pass, incomplete. Looking for Kirby on the outside, but he's well covered by Adam Leach. And the Dragons will punt this one away.
Yeah, tough result for Shabazz. Synergy just trying to force it again, and just not enough variety in this DC offense tonight. They've obviously clocked onto some things that have worked in the first 3 weeks to get them to 3-0. Tonight, a lot of those things, Fort Worth have read them perfectly.
Van Cleef's punt is a pretty decent one, as Lili Nakai, he brings it past the 30-yard line. They'll mark her down at the 32. And you look at the first 3 games that the Dragons have played, and by no means are their wins gilded or in any less valued. They just been outcoached and outplayed here tonight, and the Toros have just known what's coming. They fully prepared for this football game tonight. And maybe being away from home is really just not clicked for the Dragons. Toros just have taken advantage of being here at home. Put together a game plan that has been phenomenal. Bacon, 7 yards up the middle. Second down coming up.
And to your point, Tyler, they haven't been torched defensively. That's the important thing for DC here is defensively you have shown a lot of resolve tonight. It's a struggle to try and keep in a game where your offense isn't able to produce anything. So tonight they've done a good job on Baker and Bacon. Just haven't quite defended the pass as well as they probably could have in the later stages of the game.
Dunhill sneak, and he is plastered by J.L. Browning. Canes too and pays for it as we reach the end of the quarter. Fourth quarter upcoming. 28 donuts. Toros in the lead. This is SFL football. Here's Chris Curtis to tell you what our rights are.
The Simulation Football League is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or account of the game without the express written consent of the league office is prohibited.
Welcome back to the Stockyards here in Fort Worth, Texas. Tyler Falk alongside Jacob Clear here in the booth with Stephen Hacker and Michaela Foraker on stats and the Commissioner Cameron Irvine back at SFL Studios. Thank you for spending your Saturday evening with us. Toros hold a commanding 28-0 lead. It's a 3rd and 1 situation coming out of the quarter break. It will be a handoff for Jay-Z Bacon, right side. Nothing that Declan O'Rourke could do about it as Bacon gains the first down.
Another one of those runs where Bacon just goes straight at O'Rourke and says, "Take me on," and unfortunately that time Bacon wins again, and they're going to keep forcing that down the DC Dragons defense. Even in the later stage of this game, we're going to get a heap of production from Jay-Z Bacon.
Dunhill will look to throw, looks near side, and great hit from Peanut Say. They'll say they got back to the line of scrimmage, but that's just showing a little bit of what this DC defense can do. They've only allowed, at most, coming into this game, 17 points to both Carolina and Denver, but tonight the game has just gotten away from them. Nine minutes to go. Dunhill handoff up the middle for Bacon, and there's another great stop here for the DC defense. And they've forced a bunch of these third downs like they have in previous games, but tonight the Toros have just found an answer to the DC defense.
Peanut says thinking of finally get to do something. I mean, no targets thrown his way tonight, finally getting a little bit of involvement on the run defense.
Fort Worth is 11 of 16 as Dunhill rolls over the middle, and for one of the few times tonight, that's an errant throw for Marcus Dunhill as the Dragons defense comes alive here to begin the fourth quarter.
We'd rather that than throw a turnover in this situation, overhit the pass and walk away with a punt. It's not the end of the world. Keeps Dunhill's sheet relatively clean.
Punt is away here from Tom Roonin. As fair catch by Mason Kirby on his own side of the field. This is 28-yard line. As we want to remind you that APM Music is unrivaled music to bring your stories to life, inspiring every production with the world's most robust and constantly refreshed music collection, state-of-the-art technology, and world-class customer service. APM Music is the official soundtrack of the Simulation Football League. To explore their library and to find the perfect tracks for your projects, visit apmmusic.com. 8 minutes, 24 seconds here for the Dragons. They start on their own 28, and they need 28 points before the end of the game. Say gets the pitch near side, and like we've seen so often here tonight, very few runs have gotten space for these speedy defenders for the Toros.
And Vincent's just giving him no love at all whatsoever. Has been all over the field tonight and has really clocked on to Kevin Sayer. Brilliant game plan.
Coverage backs off. Adam Leach is about 10 yards away from the closest receiver, and the Dragons instead will just choose to run, and it goes nowhere again. Dale Browning in on the stop this time.
And the forward have come out in the cover 3 there and try and play off a bit, and they don't audible, they don't try and check into a pass or something like that just to try and test out that coverage that's being a bit more passive. It's a similar look here. I'd be trying to throw against this as much as I can.
Play action, synergy, looking deep downfield, and DaVinci's got it. First down and plenty more for the Dragons.
Well, it makes you wonder exactly what they've seen tonight from this run game to suggest that they should keep running it on the ground when Shabazz Synergy's done a decent job tonight at finding his men downfield. And once again, converts on 3rd down. I'm going to keep up with that.
You have to wonder if that first drive interception rattled Synergy. He is 7 for 15, just below 50% of his passes tonight. They come out on 1st down, they will pitch it, and that's going nowhere. Harrison gobbled up in the backfield by Delaney Nash.
Quiet night for Delaney Nash, but there's been so much production all over this Fort Worth defense. It's been hard for him to really stamp his authority in this game. He's been able to take a back seat.
Pass here for Synergy. He's caught the defense off guard, and there goes DaVinci. Down the numbers inside the 15-yard line, and that is the play that DC's been looking for all night.
Well, it's been a good night for Lyric, Tyler, and bar the tackle from Ben Stone, he almost had 6 points and would have at least broken the goose egg for DC, but it's unfortunate it's taken them this long to really clock onto this.
4th reception of the night. Now around 75 in total, and 20 of those yards came after the catch. Just shows you how much the Toros defense has clapped down on these wide receivers. Pass near side, in and out of the hands of Mason Kirby, incomplete.
Well, and Nash nearly had that. That would have been heartbreaking for Synergy. That would have been picked off.
So the Dragons come to the line. This drive, just over 2 minutes and counting. This keeps up, they'll need at least 3 onside kicks and 3 more repetitions of a 2-minute drive. That's a beautiful catch from Mason Kirby, and we have yet to call it. So that's going to be our nice hands catch of the game, brought to you by Retroid. Put a Retroid handheld in your hands and play the only SFL, the only video game with your player in it. SFL 4K 23. Biggest 3rd down of the game here for DC. They need to get inside the 4-yard line. They try a fullback dive, and it gets nowhere. It's blown up for 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage. The Fort Worth defense, led by Scuddy Sky right there, comes up with Sonny's 10th TFL and a 4th down in which the Dragons will just settle for a 25-yard field goal to make it a 25-point game.
It just hasn't been their night, Tyler, on offense. They've passed the ball fairly well. I mean, that early interception may have rattled Shabazz Synergy a touch, but that drive, they showed signs of life. Lyric DaVinci had a really good couple of reel ends, and Kirby had that pinpointed Retroid. Nice hands catch of the game, which was a pretty impressive grab. And you're down 28-0, and you've got a receiver come up with something like that. You just got to pick up little things to cling on to for next week.
And DC fans have something to cheer about. At least they will not be shut out here tonight. We'll see if the Toros, as they have for at least 3 drives tonight, they have milked 4 minutes off the clock on 3 of their touchdown drives. They'll need another one here to seal the game here tonight. We should see a lot of Bacon, Baker, and Alexander for the remainder of this football game. Don't be surprised if Dunhill, I guess I'll be surprised as Dunhill unloads it and nearly gives the ball right to John DeSantis. Oh my goodness, last 2 passes for Dunhill have been about 10 yards off the mark.
That was unlucky, and it was only by virtue of the fact that DeSantis was going for the man and not the ball. And that one fall away incomplete.
I formation here for Dunhill. Even our stats truck, Foraker and Hacker, are both a little nervous after that pass. And here comes Bacon on a give. Much more mundane call at this stretch of the ball game. Gains 6 yards.
That's more like it. Poor Josh Vasquez has done a pretty good job tonight on Bacon. As about as good of a job as he could have done.
Bacon with another 100-yard game. Doing a great job here these last couple of weeks. As the pass over the middle finds Minson for a gain of about 13. Another Fort Worth first down, and the clock will roll.
Yeah, and once again, it seems like it's the theme of the night. EJ Minson between the numbers. Another just quick slant route has been killing it on those tonight. It has been a really good night.
It looked like Strongbow just overcommitted. He was right there in the passing lane, and he just let himself a bit too far, allowing for Minson to come up with the reception. Now the Dragons pile in 9 defenders to try and halt what looks to be a run play. Indeed it is. Right side, Bacon. He's got plenty of daylight on the outside, which gains him 7 yards as the Dragons secondary catch up to him.
Perfect opportunity for JZ Bacon to start getting some momentum in this game. It's been a rough start of the season on the ground for him. Last week started to find a little bit of momentum, but has really blossomed tonight against this otherwise stout DC defense.
As the Fort Worth take their time. We won't have any football tomorrow. There's another league, so-called important game, a big game tomorrow. So the next time you'll hear the SFL will be Monday night, and this Monday is the 12th, and that means we're remembering our greatest number 12, Matt Wilson, on a special Monday night spectacular doubleheader, starting with the Arizona Scorpions and Indianapolis Ramblers, and finishing off in Mexico City for a throwback night with the Jacksonville Kings and Aztecs. This week in the SFL starts off the night with the weekly recap at 7:45 p.m. Eastern. Legends never die in the SFL as Charlie Baker puts on a show here late as he pumps up the stockyards. A great run to get the first down.
Tyler, just looking at the schedules for these two teams, Fort Worth get the bye next week, and then they get a run of 6 games against teams that are currently 500 or below. And get this, for DC, next week they have to travel to Canton, and then they have to travel to Jacksonville. Both of those games seeming like real uphill battles if tonight's anything to show for their road form.
It's a tough stretch of games here for the Dragons, and it's 4 away games on the road here for the Dragons. We are going to get a flag. It's going to be a delay of game.
Oh, come on, Marcus.
The Toros.
Give it a rest.
That might be one of the first delay of games I've seen this season, and the Toros just trying to milk as much clock as possible, get a little bit too greedy.
Classic Marcus Dunhill.
Oh, Marcus. He's going to win the football game. They go backwards 5. Here's what they're doing here, Jacob. They're giving themselves a little extra room to try and make something happen. Pass over the middle is caught for a gain of 4. They get nearly all of those yards back as Hacker comes up with the catch.
Yeah, I don't want to jinx it, Tyler. I don't think he's getting that touchdown tonight. We kind of talked ourselves up to it, and he may have been hit with the old Boo Chisholm stick, and we'll see. It's going to be an interesting contest to see which of those two hits the 100 milestone. I know it took your partner, Brett Solberg, quite a while to cross that number, and perhaps these two are going to be tarred with that same brush.
Hopefully not. We hope there isn't a 100 receiving touchdown curse. Who will become the 4th member of the SFL to do it? We have yet to find out. 2 minutes to go here from the stockyards. Toros just putting a bow and finishing touches on this one. 28-3 your score here as the Toros look to close out this one, and unlike a certain 28-3, there will be no majestic comeback in this one. Meanwhile, game over in Oklahoma, Minnesota 10, Tulsa 7, with over a quarter and a half to go over in that one. So once you're done here in Fort Worth, head on over to watch that game. That game is also being broadcasted right here on SFL YouTube. We hope you go and check out and support the Legend and the Desperados, as the first timeout for the Dragons gets called, and the Toros will set up for a 3rd and long on the DC 41. About 3rd and 8. They're just going to run it up the middle with Bacon, and Bacon rolls inside the 35-yard line. 4th and 1. They're up by 28. Partner, do you rub salt in the wound and say, we want a full 4 scores? We try and kick an extra point here? Or kick a field goal?
No, I think it's a little outside of Amelia Rose's range here.
Well, Rose
We're
has
sort
hit
of
already
expecting another Dunhill sneak, but we're not getting that.
That's fair. It's probably gamesmanship, partner. Amelia Rose has hit from 52 and has a career long here in the last 2 seasons of 53 yards, so maybe it wasn't too out of the question. But the wind is against him in this situation. That's why you see more of a shorter punt from Tom Ronan. And that is where DC will take over on the 15-yard line. And maybe they can send their fans home happy and maybe get a double-digit score before leaving Texas.
Gotta get something going here. You're playing a defense that's arguably even better than this Fort Worth unit next week, so momentum is key.
Synergy looking and is caught. Somehow fits it into Nick Twice, the rookie. And that's the DC Dragons' final timeout at the 33-yard line.
He did very well there. Seemed like that was well covered. In the end, it was forced into a really tight window and first down completion.
Three wide here for the Dragons. Blitz coming. Synergy hits Coco past their 45-yard line, and here comes the hurry-up offense. They're outside blitz. Synergy looking middle, and it's
great pick.
Beautiful interception from Remington James, and he's got blockers in front of him. Has to beat a lineman. Is it going to be a bookend of pick sixes? No. Taken down at the 26-yard line, but it's a fitting way to end the game. The game started with a drive that had a pick. It's going to end the game with a drive that ends in a pick for the Dragons. 3 in total tonight for Synergy.
Yeah, rather unfortunate for Synergy. That's the third tonight. The first one was probably the most disastrous of the lot, but that puts a bow on it for this Fort Worth defense. They had a really impressive night. I mean, we've been impressed with them all of last season. They've been hit or miss so far this season, but really took hold last week against the red-hot Houston team, and they've gotten back home tonight and have really shut down this DC offense that was picking up real momentum in season 22.
My apologies, partner. That was James's first interception of the season, his 9th of his career. And that'll put a wrap on things here. 28-3 will be your final score as the final minute of the game will tick down. Fort Worth gets a much-needed rest here now as they pull within a game and a half, or a half a game of the Houston Headhunters, who are on a bye week this week, atop the South Division. Dragons, meanwhile, they're no unbeaten. Another unbeaten has fallen. It is only Florida and Canton which remain unbeaten here this season. And they themselves, the Dragons, will now fall a game and a half behind the Canton Classics atop that North Division. And after the bye week, the Toros will come right back here February 24th to play the Vancouver Legion at 6:30 p.m. Eastern. And then they start a quick road trip playing Mexico City and San Diego in back-to-back weeks. Partner, it was just a complete and utter display of solid coaching, solid execution, and it results in this Toro team with a 28-3 win.
Absolutely, very impressive performance from the Fort Worth Toros. They build on what they produced last week with that 34-6 win over the division rival Houston Headhunters. As for DC, tough night tonight, and they're presented with another opportunity next week to try and beat a rather impressive Canton side, try and play spoiler on the road again, but plenty to evaluate for Stephen Molinax and the coaching staff over in DC. Meanwhile, this Fort Worth team, Tyler, they're starting to look like the title favorites they were last season.
Under 10 first downs for the Dragons, under 40% third down completion compared to the Toros 71%. It was just a clinic, a brilliant game here for the Toros. You just look at that defense, 3 different defenders coming away with a pick: Remington James, Aiden Davis, and Ben Stone, who also had the pick 6. And then just the consistency for Marcus Dunhill, completing over 65% of his passes tonight. That's going to do it for us. Tulsa, Minnesota going on right now. But for the rest of us, for Michaela Foraker, Stephen Hacker, Jacob Clear, and Cameron Irvine, and yours truly, Tyler Falk, we will see you Monday night for the doubleheader Monday Night Spectacular to celebrate Matt Wilson on the 12th. I'm Tyler Falk. This has been a presentation of the Simulation Football League. For more information about the league, visit simulationfl.net. Until then, good morning, good afternoon, and good night.